Greetings and welcome to another episode of Pop's Collection. I'm Ron Tweedy, joining me is Pops, and today we're going to be talking about a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
That's great. Second comic strip in a row, right? I think.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
It will be. Very good. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, since I'm guessing that this will be our Thanksgiving week episode.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, great. Yes, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, the third of the first of many Charlie Brown specials on television.
Yes.
And this was actually the first special that didn't come originally from the comic strip. It was Charles Schulz wrote it specifically for the special.
Okay.
So he had a lot of say into what went on in this particular thing. It was another Bill Mendelsohn and Bill Melendez and Lee Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I always get their names confused. I don't know why, but
it's
again,
the M last name.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And it's Mel or Men.
Right.
Either way, but still, I get them confused. Also directed by Phil Roman.
Okay, yeah.
So interesting enough. First aired on CBS on November 20th, 1973.
Right.
Which was about 8 years after the very first one, the Christmas special. I'm pretty sure that was 65.
Okay.
So, but like most of them, got a good rating. And again, we got Vince Guaraldi doing the music.
Mm-hmm.
And there was actually some singing in this one.
Yep.
And Vince actually did the singing in this too.
Cool.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool, kind of interesting. The story itself started off with a Thanksgiving tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, of course, everybody knows football.
Right, yeah.
Because you can't have Thanksgiving without a football game to watch so you can fall asleep.
Right, yeah.
For some.
Mm-hmm.
In this particular year, because Detroit is always in the mix, and so far they have not won a game yet. They have one tie, but no wins. So
yeah. I
can almost guarantee that is going to be a sleeper on Thanksgiving. So, We'll see. It'll be my luck. I'll fall asleep and it'll be the game they win.
Yeah.
But that was kind of interesting how it started.
Mm-hmm.
And that particular sequence became very popular with the comics. Lucy holding the football.
Right.
And Charlie Brown going to kick it.
Yep.
And there was actually some controversy in this, from historians, a later controversy. The story goes that the gentleman that played Charlie Brown in this, or the young man, Charlie Barbie, when they got to the point where he missed the football and went up into the air,
mm-hmm.
and he screamed, whatever.
Right.
He evidently could not do that.
Right.
They tried, from what was told, they tried it 53 times and then decided to get an adult to do the scream.
Okay.
But then another story was that they chose to use Peter Robbins, who was the original Charlie Brown, and use a scream, archive voice scream that he had done, and just extended it. So I guess the only ones that really know are Bill Melendez and Mendelsohn and maybe some others, but there's different, stories about that.
Sure.
So anyways, after that, actually, and if I'm just one more little quick thing, that was a Lucy cameo.
Yeah.
That was the only thing she was in the whole special.
Right.
So interesting there. So where did we go from there? Do you remember?
Well, I think it's just the setup for the main conflict of the film, which is, Charlie Brown receiving a call from Peppermint Patty, who invites herself over to his house for Thanksgiving, right?
Uh, yes. And by the way, the voice of Peppermint Patty was done by Christopher DeFaria.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you know that, but he later became the president of DreamWorks Feature Animation Group.
Okay. Wow.
Believe it or not.
All right.
He has been involved in quite a few different projects, as far as production and what have you.
Right.
Tremors 2, Tom and Jerry movie, just a bunch of different things. And he, of course, done all that DreamWorks stuff.
Yeah.
But a guy doing the voice of Peppermint Patty. So
yeah,
kind of interesting, Yeah. When I knew that, it was kind of like, oh, that's got to be weird for at the time, because they chose to use child actors.
Yeah.
A young boy pretending to be a girl, and you're holding my hand, Chuck.
Yeah.
Trying. I bet that had to be some good acting.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Because especially at that age,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Girls have cooties,
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But before that started, we had the infamous trip at the mailbox.
Yeah.
And he was looking for something, and
right.
We get this, proclamation from Charlie that he hates holidays.
Yeah.
So, and I guess, this one in particular, Thanksgiving is your mother's favorite holiday.
Yeah, it's one of mine too.
And I think it's a holiday that you tend to grow more attached to it the older you get.
Yes.
Because when you're young, it's all about Christmas and birthdays,
Sure.
Not even Valentine's Day is that big of a deal, but and Halloween for the candy.
Yeah.
But as you get older, I think that you begin to appreciate the idea of being thankful,
Yeah.
And we have a lot to be thankful for.
Yes.
So I think in this time of the season is a great opportunity for us to get together in families.
Yeah.
And even if you can't be close to a family member, to maybe spend time with somebody in a church family, or
sure.
Senior citizen family, whatever you're doing, or I don't know, karate family. I guess there's our lives are affected by so many people all during the year. And when you're raising children,
yeah,
you have an opportunity when they have the desire to do things, and you help them to, meet those desires. You run into other parents who are, doing the same thing for their children, unless they are trying to live their lives through their children. But for the most part, you have an opportunity to share your life with other people. So I kind of thought that was a good thing with Peppermint Patty.
Yeah.
She said that her father was going away, if I'm not mistaken. Not gonna be home. So her cry to be with, family or someone that she had feelings for, because we do know she has feelings for Chuck,
Yeah.
So, but of course we get Sally telling Charlie that he's wishy-washy because he can't tell him that the dilemma, they're going to grandma's house,
right?
For turkey.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, I think that's kind of the big thing. It's wishy-washy, I guess, is okay of a word for a kid to use, but passivity is probably what the problem was there. That Charlie Brown should have been direct, saying, "Hey, we won't be here."
Well, but the character of Charlie Brown is that he is, the blockhead. Yeah. He doesn't have, although he has a lot of friends.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of friends.
Uh-huh.
He's kind of the friend that they he's like the dog they like to kick or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
To keep him down in some ways. But he not only was passive then, but he chose to also be passive in 2 more phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was cool. And I thought that how Snoopy became the main chef. And we do get, Lee Mendelssohn's, he does the voice of Snoopy and Woodstock.
Right.
So we got that, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I do like that.
And I also liked how they asked Snoopy to get a table and chairs, and he opens the garage, and of course we have, all these comic things going on.
Yeah.
But a typical garage, no car in the garage.
Right.
No car in your garage, right?
Yeah.
But not that much stuff, I don't think.
No.
But I love that, and I also love the solution that they chose to, we'll make a Thanksgiving dinner for our friends.
Right.
Which, I don't know, I guess you could say that that's the better way than trying to disappoint somebody. I guess he didn't want to be the disappointment,
right?
And called them back and say, "No, you can't come."
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, I cannot wait to see you guys, on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Hope you like toast.
And we love toast, and your mom loves popcorn.
Yeah.
Of course. Back then, probably don't have the things that they have nowadays. Now you can get shaker stuff to put on your popcorn so that it can be ranch or barbecue or whatever.
Yeah.
Not like in the old days where you had to make caramel and pour it on yourself or melt butter. So
yeah.
But so we got pretzel sticks, toast, popcorn, and jelly beans.
Right.
So, and of course, Marcy she's not real happy about that. She's not very thankful for that, let's say.
Sure.
Yeah. But we do get at this time it was kind of Linus's little prayer thing.
Yeah.
In the year 1621, the Pilgrims held their first Thanksgiving feast. They invited the great Indian chief, Massasoia, who brought 90 of his brave Indians and a great abundance of food. Governor William Bradford and Captain Miles Standish were honored guests. Elder William Brewster, who was a minister, said a prayer that went something like this: "We thank God for our homes and our food and our safety in a new land. We thank God for the opportunity to create a new world for freedom and justice. Amen."
Had to do with the first Thanksgiving, and I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know if you bothered to look that up or if it's just one of those things.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, at least the American version of it, is complex. You got a lot of folks that are claiming that it's some sort of a racist holiday and it's about exploitation of the natives and things like that, which is not true. Obviously there was bad stuff happening in all parties involved, and there's I would recommend, if somebody is interested in the historical significance of those things, you can look up Inspiring Philosophies video on Thanksgiving that's been released in the past week or so. But suffice to say, I'm sure the prayer that he quoted from Niall Standish was accurate from a historical record standpoint. That's probably what they did record. But you know, it's important to be thankful. To
absolutely. Well, you know, I'm going to say that you know, I did choose to watch the special that was on there, the Mayflower Voyagers.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of information on there. I do not know how truthful it was.
I'm sure it's truthful, just the accuracy or how many sources were brought into consideration.
Right. In other words, they made the statement that there was 102 voyagers and 30 children.
Right.
And they had so many people in the ship, and they had said that they had signed documents with the ship owners to split profits of anything that they found in the New World.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's accurate.
So I would think that would be a document that would be an accurate statement. And also when they did the charter, I believe that would be an accurate.
Yeah.
Now, as far as Squanto and Massasoia and all them, I don't know the accuracy of them knowing English. Supposedly Squanto was a slave in England.
Right. Yeah. He was served as translator for multiple different tribes and the newcomers. So
you believe that to be an accurate statement too, then?
Yeah. The historical record seems to favor that. Yeah.
Okay. So there again, like you said, there's some controversy and stuff going around now.
Well, it's not controversy per se. It's just the
different points of view.
Well, no, it's just the nature of doing history in general, right? Because what we have to rely on, particularly for stuff that was pre-20th century, are handwritten documents and other things, and we kind of have to piece it together. And you take different records from multiple sources to see if you can collate a coherent story that seems to be the most accurate representation. So that's what historians do. It's not a science. It's an art,
Right. Well, yeah, that's actually, if I'm not mistaken, that was the how they verified the New Testament by the number of handwritten documents that they had found.
Yeah, that's a long story. It's a good story, but it's a long story. But yeah, you're right. It has to do with the manuscript tradition and analyzing, like you said, manuscripts that have survived throughout the centuries. So, but yeah.
Right. That is a very long story, actually. Yeah. So I would recommend, if anybody is interested, that they look into it. And I think you'd be pleasantly surprised,
Sure.
It's always good when you can learn something new.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, this whole thing, we got to my favorite part of this was when Charlie Brown's grandmother called, and she invited Peppermint Patty and Franklin and Marcy to come with them.
Right.
And my favorite part is that they did not get into a minivan. They did not get into an SUV.
Right.
They got into a station wagon, which was, for me, a great nostalgia, because I can remember we had a neighbor that had a station wagon. And when we'd go to the movies, they had a place called a drive-in where you could drive your car and sit in your car and watch a movie.
Yep.
And they would back the station wagon in so that everything was kind of on a hill, so that you'd be looking up at the screen and you wouldn't have to, kink your neck back.
Yeah.
And they would open up the back of the station wagon, and all the kids would lay down in the back with our pillows and with our hands watching on the tailgate. And it was really cool. It used to be so much fun, you know?
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll ever come back, but unfortunately. But then we got over the river and through the woods. Except that his grandma lives in a condo.
Right.
Which, you know, in the 70s, I guess that was a big thing, right?
Sure.
And then we got this little segment at the very end with Snoopy and Woodstock. And there was a lot of issues with that. Mendelsohn and Melendez didn't want to have that part in the movie.
Okay.
And Charlie Schultz, he just didn't think it was that big of a deal to see Woodstock eating a turkey.
Yeah, we had that same observation. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that exact same observation. Yeah. So.
And he was like, hey, it's a cartoon. Nobody's gonna see that, read anything into that, But I looked at it as an adult.
Yeah.
I never thought about any of that when I was a kid, but when I looked at it, the last time I watched it, I said, wow, Woodstock's a cannibal.
Or very close to one, we should say.
Yes. It was like,
it was.
Wow. But they really fought Charles about that, They didn't want it in there, but he was like, it's not a big deal,
Yeah.
But I guess, did you watch it with the kids?
Yeah.
And they didn't say anything about it, right?
Well, I said something about it, so, I poisoned the well, so.
But that was pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Well, hey, so again, it was a very good special.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I tried to find out how it did ratings wise, but I would assume most of that stuff does real well on the television. Even to this day, I imagine it's probably on somewhere.
Yeah, I think Apple TV actually bought the rights to it now. So if you want to watch it now, that's the place to watch it at.
So as they also bought the rights to The Great Pumpkin and
that's the Peanuts library they have.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I understand that it's also at one time was on Netflix.
Okay.
Netflix had the rights to it for a while.
Okay.
Well, this is another one of those timeless things. It's CBS. It started off on CBS, and CBS started off, getting all of this Peanut stuff off the ground. And, if you look at the animation, it's not the greatest. I think it's better than a lot of the stuff that's on Cartoon Network nowadays.
Okay.
Hey, some of the stuff that they do, it's not very creative. It's probably along the same lines, but these were actually, each individual cell painted and drawn, and, so we did not get a whole lot of animation there. Other than Snoopy, we got a lot of animation with Snoopy.
We did, yeah.
So, and of course he's the big star, so.
Yep, he is.
But after CBS, it went to ABC, then NBC.
Right.
And then I know it had a stint with Netflix, and now you say Apple TV, so.
Yep.
Wow. It's still around after all these years.
Yep.
So it's almost 50 years old.
Yes.
In another couple of years.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Pretty incredible. All right. So anything else you want to say about this, or?
Nope. I think it speaks for itself.
Wow. So our show is just a little bit longer than the actual special.
Yeah, which is fine,
Yes, great. Well, good. Then we're just going to say this is a must see. We're not going to rate it, are we? Or
we don't need to rate it? I don't think so. I mean, it's like I said, I think it stands for itself.
Yes, and this is a Thanksgiving special.
Indeed, it is
for our Thanksgiving week special. So awesome. Right.
Yep.
So I'm just going to say, everybody, happy Turkey Day or happy Ham Day if you like ham. Some do pulled pork, but
right.
I'm going to say everybody probably is going to do mashed potatoes and green beans, maybe stuffing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then dessert.
Yeah. Right.
So what's your favorite thing for Thanksgiving?
Probably the mashed potatoes and, the sweet potatoes as well.
So because of your diet,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
is it that much more satisfying when you have them?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, for me, it's like when I go out to a restaurant, if I can get a baked potato,
right,
that's like heaven.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
It's especially because you don't have it at all very often, especially with my diet too. But yes, I am going to look forward to all that stuff, and I'm not going to worry about my blood sugar that day. I may worry about the next day, but not that day.
Right. Very good.
All right. Very good.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We're definitely thankful for your listening and participation. So if you want to do any of that, please like us on Facebook, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe on YouTube. And we'll see you next week with something else. Goodbye. God bless.
Goodbye. God bless. Tell your friends.